What's up, YouTube? We're back with another vlog from River.
And Jay.
And here we're at the remains of the first CVS I ever came to here in Bloomington, Indiana. This vlog is dedicated to you, Blue, wherever you are. We last saw you a decade ago, so wherever you are, I hope you catch this and you enjoy it. Your journey down in memory lane in this... Well, the last time you saw it, it was filled with medicine, with milk, with condoms and photos. This is where we used to get our photos developed. You might remember the first roll we got when we went back down to Baked, when we were at the back door, and all of them were blurry because I didn't know how to do flash photography yet, but the last couple of ones were really good. And my final roll, the one I was really proud of because it was my first one in black and white, was, well, if I want to toot my own horn a little bit, a bit of an art flick, a bit of a cinema auteur, if you understand me. So there were nudes. There were nude photographs of all my friends, and then they closed down. That was the last film I sent here, and they didn't even tell me. I never heard back from them. I waited for months, and I was like, okay, maybe there's a backlog. It was around the holiday seasons, and nothing. There's pictures of my nude friends all over wherever. I don't know what they did with the pictures. They're not in there. It's entirely empty. But I hope whatever pervert's enjoying them enjoys the picture I got of your butt, Blue, because that's my favorite.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Shay. So I also want to share some story that, is related to CVS. So I had a really bad experience with CVS, if you remember, Blue. I think I told the River and you in a Starbucks, and actually you really hated Starbucks, if you remember, and you said you wanted to basically eat everyone in the coffee, Starbucks. But that's another story for another day. But I want to share, that experience that we had, right, together in CVS. So if you remember, right, I was there to take a photo for my new, passport, right? And then, so I took it, but it didn't turn out really good, right? So because one of my eyes was closed, and I looked terrible. So basically, right, I said, can I take, a new one, right? Because this is not really like, a photo that I want on my passport, right? If anyone can actually imagine, right? So Blue, you agreed with me, right? You were there. So we went back, we, asked for the manager, right? The manager came, and so we explained the situation, right? So one of my eyes were closed, right? It was horrible. And then what he said, if you remember, Blue, he said that, well, our machine said that it works for a password, right? What a douchebag. But then he basically refused, right, to take the photo for us again, or for me again, right? So I was really pissed, but as Blue, I'm not a very confrontational person, right? So I said, okay, maybe let's just drop it. I'm gonna use, a photo with one of my eyes closed, right? It was very weird. Blue, you were like very pissed, but you decided to drop it as well. But if you remember, Blue, while we were going back, right, to campus, you said like, let's just beat that manager up, right? For a second, right, I was like, are you out of your mind, right? But then Blue being Blue, right? If you remember, right, you said that, well, what the hell, let's just do it, right? We are living in a very absurd world, right? We just got bullied by some white manager, right? So yeah, and then so we just waited by the CVS, this location, right? By that place, right, by that corner, right? We waited, and then that douchebag manager came out, right? We basically ambushed him, and then we beat the shit out of him, right? If you remember, that was so good, right? Blue, but Blue, if you remember, you almost wanted to eat that guy. So, I mean, I stopped you, right? I know you eat a lot of things, right? But I stopped you. I said, I think we should maybe stop here. We don't want to kill people over some photos. So Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. That was a great memory. We beat the shit out of that guy. This is a special day, right? So you've been missing for almost a decade, 8 years actually now. We've been missing for 8 years. We want to basically share. I want to share this memory with you about this CVS. That's empty now. I'm a bit hungry actually.
So, we're at the premier hotspot ice cream spot of Bloomington. So we got Jiffy Treats, where we have experimental flavors such as chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and even avant-garde for you cinephiles out there, lemon sherbet, pecan, butter pecan. You may recall, or you may not recall, the evening where Blue came and sampled each flavor twice. They couldn't make up their mind, so after going through the entire scoreboard, they started all over again. And they asked to go one more time, but then they caught on to their ruse of just wanting to fill up without having to pay for any of it. So, every time I come here, I think of the time I almost choked to death on a lemon because there was an entire lemon in there, and I didn't notice until I was on my last bite. It's too cold to be eating ice cream. It's below freezing. I haven't had dinner yet, but I'm 25 years old now. I can make bad decisions legally if I want to, and no one can legally tell me otherwise. When I first met Blue, I couldn't legally drink yet, and legally, of course, we never did. But Blue did tell me once that you could hypothetically get a tub of ice cream from here, fill it up with booze, freeze it, and then have a popsicle. A boozy little popsicle. They made it twice, when they were of age, of course. And each time it tasted terrible. There was a terrible ratio, didn't freeze right. But I learned a lot about Blue that day.
Remember how we even met Blue?
Well, wasn't it the same day we met?
I don't know, it feels blurry to me. I feel like I couldn't even remember their face. I feel like it was so blurry, you know, after, you know, so many years.
You mean like ever? Like you don't remember their face at all?
No, not at all. Like, I don't know. Like, you remember, like we went to, you know, Longfei. You know, we went to the Chinese restaurant, and we, you know, had dinner together with other people. But I just couldn't remember like their face. You know, when I tried to remember that moment that we were there eating in a you know, around a table together. And it's like you look at the moon, and you know it's the moon, and it's white, so you kind of know the face, but you don't really know the actual texture of the moon. You know, it's like you don't really see the craters, the mountains, unless you have a, you know, some equipment.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is you wish you had a telescope?
Yeah, I guess so. It's like a telescope in my head, probably. So yeah, sometimes I feel like I need that to really remember remember them. One time, me and Blue, over the summer, one night, we went on for a hunt for, you know, we went online, we checked those buildings that, you know, that are said to be haunted. So we went on a trip to basically go to those haunted places on campus. You know, the Lily Wild Library. You know, there was a room that, you know, was said that it was haunted. So we went there, and yeah, that was the best memory. It was. I mean, we didn't find anything. Blue was very upset for not, you know, finding anything, and but that was the best memory. And in terms of worst memory, we didn't realize that Blue actually becomes basically completely frozen when it, you know, temperature drops to below certain degree. I didn't know that. One time we were just walking by the street during the winter, and then they just stopped walking, and I had no idea what happened. They just like froze, like, you know, it's like you froze, you know, you freeze a frame in a camera, you know, in a video. And I didn't know that it would actually happen to them. And it took me a while to actually, like, you know, warm them up and then bring them back to life. So that was the worst memory. Okay, now we're getting into the building. Okay, we are in Blue's office. Ta-da! And yeah, so it used to be Blue's office, but now it's mine. Now it's my office. So a lot of memories here, but yeah.
So, you might be wondering why this video looks like this, and it's because it's being shot on this camera. It's a Digicam, and you can hear the way it chirps and buzzes and revs and whines because it's old and rickety and digital, and everything looks crusty and dusty. But it's because it's Blue's. When we first found out about their disappearance, we came into their office looking for them, and we found it right here, facing the doorway. Well, maybe not the doorway, but ready for anyone who would be coming around the corner here. And it was already recording, as if it was waiting for someone to find it. And we looked through the footage, we looked at the recording itself, because someone had to press the play button, but there was nothing. No one walked around, no one was in the video, no one was in any other pictures, there weren't any other pictures, but there was a 32 gigabyte SD card, which was very thoughtful. And I don't know who it is. It was unnamed. But that's why we're in beautiful standard definition. I hope you're enjoying the pixels. And if you want your camera back, hit me up.
So, it's been quite a few years now since Blue disappeared. So I did, make some little changes here and there to his office after I moved in, but mostly it's mostly similar. Mostly, it is mostly kept as it was when they left. So I want to show you some stuff that are like associated with Blue, and there are some memories about Blue. So if you can look at here, right? There is this little bugs that nobody really touched. I didn't touch. You can actually feel that there's some dust, hovering over it when you touch it. I remember the first time Blue came to, our shared office at the time. We were lecturers. We were not, actual full-time employees. He came with this. Yes, he came with this case, and we always wonder, what they kept in there. Now, it's almost like empty. You cannot really see anything. I didn't really find anything interesting. But at the same time, I never actually put it down. It feels like it belongs there, and so that's one interesting thing that Blue left behind. That painting as well, it's really, like their style. As you can see, it's blue colored, and they like blue things. Everything is in blue.
Blue recycling bin.
Oh yes, blue recycling bin, for sure. And then if you come over here, look at those, look at these paintings over here, right? They're all in different shades of blue. They're really into blue stuff, as, like their name. This is Blue's little cushion here. And I remember we actually stole it from a store, because Blue told me they grew up really, really poor in their neighborhood, and they had to basically sometimes steal stuff to basically feed themselves, feed their family. So one day we were just walking around this store, and then Blue said, "Oh, do you wanna like steal something?" And then I never ever done anything like that in my life, and I'm like, "Wait, are you?" I mean, just every single time when they come up with those kind of ideas, I would just I could never believe what they were saying, but then I would always go along with it. So anyway, we stole this cushion while we were walking out of the store. And as you can see, there's no barcode anywhere, so nobody noticed, nothing beeped, and it was very, very thrilling moment. So this is one memory.
And that's funny, because Blue told me they grew up actually pretty wealthy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they told me something completely different.
Are you sure? I mean, they told me they grew up pretty poor.
No, they also tried telling me to steal a bunch of stuff, but they were telling me I can pay for it, I just don't want to.
That's interesting. I don't know. That's so strange, though, that they would tell us so different stories. So, this is my office now. Blue used to own this office, and we used to, you and me and Blue, we used to gather here a lot to talk about life, talk about things, talk about our dates, and believe me or not, I think, I mean, you know the story as well. One day I was working late, and I was coming out of my old office, and I was just, walking down the hallway, and I think we were all busy that day, so we didn't really have time to hang out, and we didn't really communicate with each other that much. So I thought I was the only person, who, was at in the building, but I saw Blue's office, this office, the light was on, and I don't know what is. I'm like, oh, I was surprised, like, oh, Blue's here too. So, and I wanted to say hi, and I opened the the door, and I heard some noises, some sounds, and and when I went in, I couldn't believe what I saw. Yeah, they were making out with two people, a guy and a girl, and that was a scene that I would never forget. And but yeah, so I think that was also the day that we both realized that, oh, actually Blue, was bi. But the funny thing is, like, we talked about it earlier in the car, their face is still blurry to me, even though it was a really striking image. Now I think about it, the way it stuck in my head. But I clearly remember the girls and the guys, their faces, but I just couldn't really remember the Blue's. Yeah, I couldn't remember Blue's face for some reason.
Everyone does.
They wanted to destroy it. So there's another great spot if you are up for a date, a secret date. We used to come here to read.
You ever wonder if they actually haven't left?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I wish they're somewhere watching us and making fun of us. That'll be cruel. Them trying to make fun of our misery because we both, miss them so much. But I do wonder that, yeah, it is possible that they might never have, yeah, it is possible that they are still among us, watching us somewhere, and it is still possible. But that's the thing about Blue, you never know what they're up to, what they're thinking about. Every day, one day they came to the office and then laughing. I said, "What happened?" They said, some car, some lady hit them, and then they said they just ate the lady and the car.
In the car?
Yes, the car with the lady in it.
I knew they were a cannibal, but I thought they were a regular cannibal.
Well, but then knowing Blue, they are capable of doing it. They are capable of, doing those kind of things. So you don't know. It is possible. But then I never witnessed it. That's the thing about Blue. They said you never know whether they're saying the truth or not. You never know whether they are serious or not. Do you even know, where they came from? Do you even know, where they grew up?
I mean, they didn't talk about their hometown much.
Exactly. And we don't know where they went. We know that they left 8 years ago, and we know today is the anniversary that they 8 years anniversary of them disappearing, and so we don't know where they went. So that's Blue.
That's Blue.
That's Blue. So this is the downtown area of Bloomington, and I really like downtown Bloomington. Blue liked it, even though they occasionally, ate people here and there, making them disappear. The funny thing is, police never found out about those missing people.
That's because they use the sewers.
Yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, sometimes I wonder, Blue has this ability of, wiping people's memories out of their head.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, don't you feel like they also messed with our memories? Like you told me that they told you that they were from a rich family, and they told me that they were from a poor family. So don't you feel like those they were basically caused by some kind of supernatural ability that Blue had to mingle with our memory.
I mean, I guess he could have told us two different things.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible too. But then, why don't I remember their face? Why don't I remember what they look like?
Yeah.
Why don't I remember the exact face?
Yeah, even like
why don't we remember where they were from and then where they went?
Yeah, even like in pictures. Like every time I see a picture with Blue, they look different.
Yeah, exactly. So didn't you feel like someone messed up your memory related to Blue?
Huh.
So, but anyway, yeah, this is where we hung out. This is where we had fun together, and yeah, those memories are coming up now, coming back to me.
Do you actually have any good memories associated with Blue?
You know, that's the strange thing. Every memory with them felt like a good memory, but at the same time, they all felt sad and bad.
And it
But-
sounds like you can't even remember them.
I mean, I remember the event. I remember the plot. I remember what happened, but I don't remember their face.
Remember their body?
I remember their body, their emotion, but I don't remember their face. How about you?
I'm starting to doubt what I do remember. I feel like, I don't know. Like, if all of this is so vague, how do I know I'm remembering the right person?
Maybe that's why they left. Maybe that's why
They didn't want to be remembered?
maybe, or they wanted to be remembered that in that way, you know, so that we only remembered the memories, the thing that we went through with them, but we don't remember who they actually are. Maybe that's their way of living with us. Maybe they didn't want to show us, you know, the
Who
way
they really are?
No, like show us how they end up dying, you know, on a deathbed. Us mourning them, going to their funeral. I mean, assuming that they died before us.
You mean to tell me you don't think they're alive anymore?
No, that's hard to tell. But I guess if we stayed together, at some point we will die, or they will die, and then they would have to show us their death, their dead body, and maybe that's what they didn't want to do, you know, that we live with the memory of their death. Maybe they just wanted us to remember the good things about them, or at least the good memories.
I don't know. I might hate them.
I can understand that. I sometimes think I also hate them too. And with everything going on right now, and if you think about the time that they left, it makes it even harder. So I can understand that you might hate them. But I always think that there's hope that they might come back. I don't know. They might.
To Bloomington, Indiana.
Yes, to Bloomington, Indiana.
With love. From Shay
And
River.